Welcome to this gentle practice to help shift something in your hips and maybe in your mindset as well. Sit comfortably. Maybe take one hand on your low belly or both hands on your low belly. Notice how your hips are feeling right now. And into the sensations in your pelvis, take a big inhale and a big cleansing exhale. Again, just clearing away the rest of the day. A big inhale. Exhale it out. Arrive into this moment and into the possibility of change. Gently bow your head. Remember why you're here. And now just adjust yourself so that the soles of your feet are together and your knees are wide like butterfly legs, and walk your right hand off to the right with your left arm up, little side stretch to the left. Come through center. Take your left hand down, your right arm overhead, big stretch. Let's flow. Inhale through center. Exhale, the left arm goes up and over. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, stretch your right arm up and over into the side bend. Go at your own pace. Exhale to side bend. Inhale, coming up. And exhale to the other side. Do a few more times, and just remembering that in this spa yoga practice together, listen to yourself. Please listen to your body. And always give yourself what your body is asking for. Right? Remembering what is possible rather than getting stuck in those limiting thoughts about yourself. Rest when you need to. Slow down when you need to. And now we're going to fold through center over the legs, a little bit of pulsing. So you'll inhale and just lift your chest ever so slightly, and exhale to fold a little bit deeper. And now let your head hang, let go through the neck, and take a few really good breaths all around your hips. A lot of goodness stored up in those hips. So the good news is that there's a lot to breathe into and think about letting go of. And take your time to lift up out of that fold, and with your feet on the ground, your knees bent, wrap your forearms around your shins and just round into yourself. Give yourself a little hug like a seated child's pose. And then set yourself up on your mat for a child's pose now, with arms outstretched, hips back towards the heels. Hips don't have to touch the heels, of course. Feel free to stay right here and relax. Option to now tent up on your fingertips and walk your fingertips a little further forward with your elbows off the mat, hips still pulling back in space. Breathe along the whole back lines of your body. If you're going to go a little further with me, something for the shoulders, thread your right arm behind your left, underneath your left armpit, and tent your left fingertips still, and walk your left fingers a bit further off to the other direction behind your head. Turn your chest towards the left. And coming through center, now your left arm will thread underneath your right armpit, so your left palm faces up to the sky, off your mat to the right. Take your right armpit up away from your right cheek and sweetly turn your chest open to the right. Big breath. And as you release from that, again, feel free to remain in child's pose. Such a good place to be. Sometimes this is the change that we need, is to actually step back and pause more. If you'd like to move with me, come onto your hands and your knees for tabletop. We're going to do this pretty slowly. Inhale to lift your heart, but actually stay in this little back bend for another breath. And as you next exhale, round your back, tuck your chin into your chest. Now hold this rounded back for a few full breaths in and out. Try to look towards your belly button. And then find that arc in your spine. Look up, open the front of your throat. Take 1 or 2 breaths right here. And now round your back. puff your back up, up, up to the ceiling as you round. One more time, nice and slow. Inhale to arc your spine. Pause here. Big breath. Exhale to round your back. Hug your navel in and up. And simply step your feet up to the front of your mat so that you're in a standing forward fold with your feet about hip width apart. Bend both knees, couple of inches, either fingertips tented on the ground, or fingertips can be on blocks if you have them. Gently shake your head no, relax any neck tension. Option to grab hold of opposite elbows. As your upper body drapes down your legs, feel a little lift of your low belly in and up. Breathe through your nose if you can. This helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system that keeps us in rest and digest. Now take a big step back with your left foot and walk your right foot off your mat to the right. So you're going pretty wide with your right foot. Tent on your fingertips and take huge circles of your pelvis in one direction. Not worrying too much about how this looks, but just notice what happens when you circle your hips. What happens in the right and the left hip, in the front and the backs of the hips. And circling in the other direction. Any pace, any speed that works for you. And then you'll come back so that you wiggle your right foot so it's now on your mat at the right side of your mat and your hands are still inside your foot. Inhale to reach your heart forward. Exhale to bend your elbows and try to dip your heart a little lower. Again, inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, tip down, bending your arms. Couple more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend your arms. Keep your chest open. Again. And start to walk your left hand off your mat to the left. Reach your right arm way up. Expand your wingspan and stay like that if that's enough. A juicy bend in your front knee, or grab hold of your back ankle with your right hand and pull your left heel towards your outer left bum. Breathe up into your chest, and of course you'll feel a lot around your left quads, so breathe for your left thigh as well. Return your hands inside your right foot, and now your back foot, your whole back shin is going to swing around to the right, off your mat to the right, and then walk your hands off the front left corner of your mat until your arms are straight. You feel nice extension through the sides of your waist. And pull your hips back in space away from your hands. Sure that your right knee is still over your right ankle. Deep breaths for those lovely hips. Whew, that's a good one. And now step your feet to the front of your mat so that you're in that standing forward fold again, with your feet hips distance apart. You can grab opposite elbows. You can absolutely hang out here, enjoying really long exhales. A little more weight towards the balls of your feet. And now take a big step back with your right foot and adjust your left foot, again, off your mat to the left, so it's quite wide. Tent up on those fingertips and enjoy big circles through the hips. And I mean, your pelvis might not circle in a really big way, but it's okay. Just notice where you feel the mobility and where you feel a little bit stuck. And remember that what happens in the body is mimicked in the mind. So just thinking about what is possible and what you can shift with breath and with this mindful movement. Anything's possible. After you've circled your hips in both directions, adjust your left foot back onto the left side of your mat, still keeping your hands inside your foot. Inhale, reach your spine out of your hips long, and as you exhale, bend your arms. Dip low. Again, inhale to lengthen, shoulders away from ears, bend your arms as you exhale. Maybe a little lower. Do that a couple more times. Have a good breathe. Take your right hand off your mat to the right. Sweep your left arm way up. Broaden open your chest. Absolutely, it might be enough to keep your left arm straight up. Or grab hold of your right ankle with your left hand and pull your heel towards your bum. And can you try to kick your foot back into your hand if you've got it? As though you're straightening your back leg, but your hand won't allow it. Pull your heel in closer. Fill your body with breath. Align your hands back inside your foot and swing your back shin around so that your right tippy toes are off your mat to the left. Little kickstand there. And take your hands off the top right corner of your mat. Let your heart melt lower towards the earth as your sitting bones draw back in space. What's possible is that we can be with our breath. What's true is that we are always changing. Can we breathe through all the changes? And from here, with your hands at the front of your mat, step your feet up so you're in a standing forward fold again. And now walk your hands over to the right, deep bend in the right knee. Work your left leg a little bit straighter, as though you're bowing down your right leg into your bent right knee. Keep your outer feet grounded. Pull your left hip back. Deep breaths into all that you're feeling around your left hamstrings, left side. Crawl your hands through the center, and let's take it over to the left. Again, if you have blocks, you might use them under your hands or on fingertips. Deep bend through the left knee. Ground the four corners of both feet firmly with your right leg a bit straighter now. Draw your right hip back. Last breath here. Return your hands to center and widen your feet mat width apart, or feet can be a little bit wider. Squat down for Malasana Yogic squat. Feet can be in a little bit of turnout. Maybe sit on a block if you've got it. Hands in prayer. Press your inner knees apart with the help of your elbows and lift your chest up towards your thumbs. Go really wide across the chest and breathe up and down the length of your spine. Another big breath for your hips. Return your fingers to the earth, lift your hips for down dog, step your feet back, plant your hands shoulder distance apart. And with your feet on the ground in down dog, bend each knee side to side to get into those lovely calves and hamstrings and Achilles. Do that a couple more times. Pedal out your heels as you bend one knee and then the other. Tilt your sitting bones really high up. And then bring your big toes together in downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet and squat down so that now you're in a squat with your big toes together and your knees wide. You might want to watch me for this one. Bring your knees down to the floor, literally, with your knees as wide apart as your mat, and walk your hands out in front of you until your stomach and your pubic bone come down onto the floor. So it's like you have butterfly legs behind you, but you're on your stomach. I'm going to stay up on my elbows, on my forearms for Sphinx pose. You're gently pressing your big toes down with your feet together. Don't worry if your big toes don't touch, mine don't. And with the chest up in the Sphinx, a little bit of neck releasing. So just tipping your head side to side. Go slow if you're rocking your head side to side. Feel the lift of your heart. You can keep on with those neck releases, or bring your head and your chest all the way down. You can look to one side or stack your hands under your forehead. Now imagine you're breathing down into your hips. Feel your belly push into the floor as you breathe in and out. And once you finish with that, extend one leg back at a time, and then bend your legs and sway your feet side to side. Sway your shins side to side slowly. All right, come to roll over onto your back now. For thread the needle, right ankle in front of your left thigh. Either have your left foot on the floor or interlace your hands behind your left hamstrings. As you almost gaze down with your mind's eye down into your right hip and breathe all around the right hip, just remembering what is possible, what you can do. We can always breathe. Half happy baby. Take your right foot and your right knee bent out to the right and have your left leg in an active half butterfly. Left hand on top of left hip. Breathe low into your pelvis. And slowly release your feet flat to the mat for happy baby. For thread the needle on the other side, left ankle over right thigh. Maybe interlock your hands behind your right hamstrings. Try to keep the length of your spine flat on the floor, your shoulder blades down. Notice where your mind wanders and keep coming back to this moment. This is something that you can do for yourself. You can be present. One more big breath for your left hip. Now half happy baby, more for the inner thighs, the groin area. Left knee opens out to the left, your left foot flexed up towards the ceiling. Splay your left toes. Park your right hand on top of your right hip and keep both sides of your bum down as your left knee widens more. Big breath. Okay, and here we are in our final pose in this very brief, sweet practice today. Soles of your feet together on the ground, knees bent wide open. Grab opposite elbows around your head on the floor, or choose a different arm variation that suits your shoulders better. Let's take a couple cleansing breaths to release the practice and whatever else it is you're holding on to. Inhale with me now. Oh, these lovely hips. Option to take your palms around your low abdomen or your low belly right around your hips if you like. Can you be thankful for these hips? Thank you for joining me. Namaste.